Doing the shadow work takes a lot of tenacity and courage. These parts of ourselves have never been seen clearly by us, but have been seen by others, and at times we can feel embarrassed, guilty, ashamed. It could result in feelings of heaviness and have you questioning the person that you really are. I want to put you in remembrance that you are not only your shadow content, but the rest of you too. Every part of you is important. Every part of you is essential. You see, shadow qualities are useful. They're never to be discarded or looked at as low vibration, as some people commonly do, but rather they're to be integrated. In other words, there's a time for them. As we become more mindful and more masterful in the shadow work, the shadow will move from being part of our autopilot, which is something we can't control or see, and into our conscious regard, which means we can choose to move in and out of those qualities where necessary. Your shadow content adds to the richness of your life, the variety of your experiences. A person who is not doing shadow work and integrating their shadow will feel very uncomfortable expressing negative emotions. And so this person could almost seem very without effect, meaning they are cold or they seem cold or distant. They go for detachment rather than involvement in negative emotions. People who do not become masterful in moving through negative emotions while sharing it with others will feel limited and afraid because they don't want to be seen a certain way or come off a certain way. This is an indication that the shadow is not integrated. It's normal to want to regard other people's feelings. My suggestion is not to become callous and detached. We don't want that because that is still residing in the shadow, But what I am suggesting is that as you move through this process, you move through it systematically. Don't just take the point of freedom of expression. Don't just take the points of acceptance of the shadow, but we must move into integration. This teaching right now is about acceptance, okay? I just wanted to give you an overview. But you must come away from looking down upon your shadow. Doing so will cause you to stop looking down upon other people's shadow content. You have to realize that the ways that your self has learned to cope was very smart. Your subconscious chose to engage in strategies that protected you. It's just that those strategies are no longer applicable. They used to be applicable. They're no longer applicable. In other words, they no longer serve you. So at one point in your journey, it may have made sense to detach from certain situations. But as you become more emotionally intelligent, more evolved in your shadow work, you realize that detachment is another form of escape, and it sabotages relationships. Because when you are detached, I'm not talking about when people perceive you as being detached, but when you are detached from your emotion, you are also detached from the experience of people around you. And that could lead to a lot of emotional pain, confusion, and tension between you and others. So we must continue to evolve in the shadow work to the point of acceptance, and then integration is the next piece. But I want you to look back at the ways that you have behaved that you may have formerly felt ashamed of. You move to understand and affirm that there were reasons that you acted and behaved in that way, but those reasons, those strategies no longer apply. And so you can write them down in a loving letter You know, I used to believe that A, B, and C. I used to believe that love was action. I used to believe that people were here to meet my needs. I used to believe that people should stand by their word only, even to their own detriment. I used to believe, but I no longer believe this. I believe this. And you can fold the paper up and burn it, or fold it up and cut it up and then flush it down the toilet or throw it away, whatever means of discard. But we're going to do it in a loving way, like give thanks that these strategies served me at one point, but I'm applying different strategies now, ones that actually serve my evolution. We give thanks. This is acceptance of your shadow. No more need to deny what people are saying about you. You can take a nice look in the mirror and come to the realization that, yes, not only do they see it that way, but I do have these qualities in me. I have these qualities in me as a result of A, B, C, D, and E. At some point it served me. It no longer serves me. This is what serves me now. Acceptance.